heating vent above my
It was
head.
right like, well, that was right, the heat was right in the nose.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 7:01 PM. We'll start with public comment. Is there any public comment? Mr. Kearney, name and address for the record.
Mike Kearney, 72 Mountain Road. Also, I'm the commander of Hamel-Singer Post 10, American Legion. Two things. Every time I think this issue's been put to bed, it pops up again. Broad Street Park. We've asked and asked and asked about the official name of that park, and we all been told it's Broad Street Park, Broad Street Park. But every time I pick the paper up, I read, like for instance, this article that was in the Register, I don't know what date, Memorial Day Parade in jeopardy. But the Broad Street Veterans Memorial Park. Seems that somebody in this town has taken upon himself to try to rename that park as a Veterans Park. The Veterans Park in Seymour is French Park. It's always been, always will be. Now this, I don't know who this guy's speaking for. If he's speaking for the park committee, if he's speaking for the town of Seymour, who he's speaking for. But he can't unilaterally change the name of that park. I mean, if somebody wants to come to the board and make some suggestions, I have a suggestion for the park. We call it Chewstown Park. That's the reason it was before Humphreysville. Joe Chews, the Indian, lived under the falls. So if they want to go back to Seymour's history, then Chewstown Park. But again, we've got to put this issue to bed. Veterans Park, Veterans Park, it's not a Veterans Park. It's been at that corner there for years. I've got an article in the paper from 2000 when I worked with Scott Barton, about trying to get the cupola from the brass mill at that site. That was nowhere in sight. I don't know where he's getting his 30 years from. But it's a town park. It's a beautiful park. It's not a Veterans Park. He can call it whatever he wants. The other thing, too, is that letter, Memorial Day Committee. Now, I don't know if he's speaking for you, because your name is at the bottom of the letter that's going around town about money. Now he's talking about the 2015 parade, that we're not going to have a parade unless we get money. Money, money, money. That's all that guy talks about is money. So I don't know if he's speaking for you, because I got the letter that came to the town, it's got your name at the bottom of it, and he's quoted in the paper saying that the town wants another parade, better start sending your money in. So again, I don't know what the issues are with this gentleman, but I think unofficially I know what the answers are, but officially I think something's got to be done or said to put this issue to bed. My guys over at our post are livid every time they read these newspapers, or he makes these comments. So again, that's my comment from again, we're the largest veterans organization in town, the longest serving, the most active, and it's just disturbing. Nothing against the veterans. I mean, if people want to buy bricks and stuff like that, but you just can't unilaterally change the name of that park. And again, I'm working with Stan Jakimowski to get those other two stones up that park. We're not quite there yet as far as putting a proposal together, and it's just kind of upsetting. And then, just for your information, your dad's one of our newest members of the Post. It's glad to have him on board.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Is there any other public comment?
Marcia Shuck, 7 Country Club Drive. As you must be aware by now, after me speaking at the January 7th and 26th meeting, Selectmen's meeting, I'm very much opposed to the AT&T tower being constructed at the Great Hill Ho site. Since the last Selectmen's meeting, I've been paying a lot of attention to cell phone towers in the area. I've seen them in industrial parks, business areas, commercial areas, along highways, and on top of wooded hilltops. But I haven't seen a single one in the middle of a residential area. As I said before, this appears to be a great deal for AT&T. Since AT&T plans to turn the tower over to the town, they won't be assessed taxes. I'm not sure what it costs to build a tower. I would think somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. If that's the case, Seymour could potentially lose $3,000 to $4,000 in assessed taxes, plus the taxes as to whatever is placed on that tower. So subtract that from the $18,000, and we're down to $13,000 to $15,000 annual income from this tower. I don't think that's a great deal for the town. At the January 7th meeting, a gentleman asked about 25 questions in regards to the tower. As of last week, the answers to those questions weren't available, and I would expect that those answers would be available to all the residents who are interested when they, so we can come up with more discussion about this. I sincerely hope you take the concerns of the neighbors into consideration when you vote on this proposal. At this point, of the 3 meetings I've gone to, I haven't heard one person speak in favor of the tower, other than Tom Amy. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Schiff. Mr. Schiff, come on up.
Let's see if he blames me again this time.
I too, Ed Schuck, 7 Country Club Drive. I too would like to speak against, excuse me, the proposed AT&T tower. Most of you don't know me. Mr. Miller has known me over the years. Generally, I support the town. I support the town budget. I vehemently support the school budget. And I do that because it's part of the community, and I believe in the concept of supporting all constituents within the community. But I don't think that we need to pay for those services at the expense or by sacrificing one neighborhood for the rest of the town. The documentation we received from your office, Mr. Miller, that was passed out at the last meeting indicated that AT&T was going to turn the property over to the town. I assume then it would be the town that would be seeking additional vendors who would use that tower, so it could bring in additional income. However, that would make the tower that much uglier with more information on it. We also then, I think, in essence, become a realty company and leasing out property. And I don't think that's a concept that I would like the town to follow. So AT&T will not be paying taxes on this property. Last week, I heard you approve, I think it was a tax abatement for any penny. I supported that. I agree that's a good way to get business into the town and increase the grand list. But I find it ironic that AT&T and Henny Penny, who haven't paid any taxes in the town, are getting a lot more consideration than people who have paid taxes for 20 years just in this neighborhood, in my case over 40 years in the town. So I would ask for equal consideration. Mr. Miller said at the last meeting, indicated that the tower would most likely look like the one at John L. Sullivan's, down by John L. Sullivan's. But he had not yet gone to see that one. I would urge each of you to go down and see it. And I want you to look up and see just how unpleasant a sight it is. More importantly, look down at the support buildings that are there and how unsightly they are where it would be in a residential neighborhood. I will not be at the February 18th meeting. I know some of you are happy about that. I will not be here because I will be away. But I vehemently urge each and every one of you to reject this proposal from AT&T. I don't think it's good I know it's not good for my neighborhood, and I don't think it's good for the entire town. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Schiff. Is there any other public comment? Close public comment. Okay, next item on the agenda, item number 4, approved minutes from the January 27, 2014 special meeting. Have a motion to do so?
So moved.
Motion by Len. Is there a second?
Second, but I have discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken. Second. Discussion. Oh, red pencil's out.
That's right. Okay, at the beginning of the minutes, under others present,
Okay.
if you come down 1, 2, 3 lines, Evelyn Keith Lucy I don't think that's, Evelyn is Keith's first name.
Did I say that again?
Right here.
Maybe Evelyn and Keith?
No, it doesn't keep you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I believe that's like a maiden name or something, because I think I remember seeing the name on Facebook.
where is it?
But I think we can check that.
Okay.
That's correct.
We can check. It is, oh, you know? Oh,
Evelyn Keith Lucy, she's one of my members.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, we gave her an award.
You did?
Yes, we did.
All right, and if you come down to the next line, after Vanessa Rose, comma, Richard, is that
It's like Prince, it's just a one name.
just...
I apologize, we missed that. We'll check that one.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's not the same thing.
And then the only other thing,
Only because you took out the red pencil.
yeah, I did that on purpose. I've been subbing at the high schools. Just above item number 9 on page 3,
Okay.
the note, town council would like to add an item.
Oh. Yep. Take that D off.
That's it?
Good. We have no changes. Any other changes?
Nope.
Good. Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Chair votes aye, motion passes 5-0-2. And please note Al and Nicole's abstentions. Item number 5, first selectmen's report, since I was not here any days since our last meeting, there's no first selectmen's report. Al and Nicole?
Yeah, Alan Nicole didn't abstain. I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I abstained, and Al and Emery.
Okay, I apologize, I didn't hear. Anne Marie
I didn't
abstentions.
hear that.
So that's 4-0-3. My apologies. Okay, so again, since I haven't been here since our last meeting, there's no first selectmen's report. Item number 6, discussion and take possible action on the building department fee increases. Before you, you have a memo from our new building inspector, James Baldwin. Jim is asking to make some changes to some of the fees, just to clean them up, make them a little bit more organized. You could see backup attachments for what the cost of each building permit would be. So at this point, I'm asking for a motion to accept the changes recommended by Building Inspector James Baldwin for reinspection fees to increase from $30 to $50. The minimum fee permits up to $3,000 to go from $34.50 and $45 to $50. Certificate of occupancy to go from $20 to $50 for amounts under $100,000. Certificate of occupancy from $20 to $75 for $100,000 to $149,000, and certificate of occupancy from $20 to $100 for $150,000 and over. I have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion by Paul,
Second.
second by Al. Is there any discussion?
Is there like a place where he goes and he gets these the building permit fees? Is there like a set somewhere, or like where did he get these numbers from?
These numbers, if you recall, we adjusted them when our old building inspector, Joe Raiola, left, and Gordon Gramellini came in from Oxford. Gordon recommended changing the charts, as you see here. Jim, in his years and years of experience, is just building on that. All he's really changing is the bottom number on these.
Okay.
So, but there is some uniformity to these amounts. If there's no other questions or comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda, item number 7, discussion, take possible action on building and zoning department change in hours. As you can see, in front of you would be the new hours for our building department as well as our zoning department. As you know now, the hours are random and scattered throughout the week. There's really no rhyme or reason to why we do the things that we do. In conversation with our new building official, Jim Baldwin, and also working with the assistant in the department, Donna, what we're going to do is we're actually going to move Donna downstairs for a half of each day, which will allow the building department to be open every day of the week for a substantial period of time. Donna has a tremendous amount of experience with this, and she would be able to work with people who come in for permits. She can make appointments for Jim. It's just going to allow us to better serve the residents and just provide a better level of service. As you can see on Mondays, The building department and zoning department will be open from 1 to 6 p.m. Both Jim and Bill will be physically in town hall from 4 until 7. On Tuesday, Donna again will be in the office from 1 to 6, with both Jim and Bill being in town hall from 4 to 7. On Wednesday, Donna will man the office from 1 till 5:30. And then on Thursday, Donna again will be in the office from 1 to 6, with Jim and Bill being in from 4 to 6. Jim will be doing inspections throughout the day. Again, this will allow us to provide a better level of service. Jim's on board, Bill's on board, and Donna's on board with all this. So I'm asking for a motion at this point to change the hours for the building department and zoning department as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Nicole, second by Al. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Chair votes aye, motion passes 6-0-1, and no Paul's abstention, please. Item number 8, discussion with Recreation Director. I'm going to ask for a motion to table this until our meeting on February 18th.
So moved.
Motion by Nicole,
Second.
second by Anne Marie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Item number 9.
Too late to ask why that didn't go forward.
Mr. Hearn was unaware of us having a meeting today.
The Board of Selectmen meetings are every first and third Tuesday of every month. So
That is correct.
for how long has that been?
I couldn't tell you. A long time.
Thanks.
Well, item number 9, discussion, take possible action on employment performance measurement initiative. Actually, we won't really discuss this until our first meeting in March. We had talked about to give it some time. Len, unless you have anything you'd like to add?
No.
No? Okay. Item number 10, discussion with Blight Officer. Mike again is unable to attend due to work commitments, but did want me to stress the fact that he would be more than happy to speak to anybody directly, answer any emails, and he will do his best to be here on the 18th if people still would like to see him. Item number 11, executive session. We have no executive session. Item number 12, appointments. We have no appointments. Good. Any got any appointments?
Do you want me to do the transfer before I go?
Okay. At this point, then, I'll entertain a motion to go out of order to item number 13. Do you have a motion? Motion by Nicole, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda, item number 13, tax refunds and abatements. Go ahead.
January 30th, 2014, to the Board of Selectmen from the tax collector, the following overpayments of tax payments in total of $11,812.97 need to be approved for refund in accordance with the provisions of Section 12-129 of the Connecticut General Statutes, dated at Seymour, the 30th day of January 2014, date of Flock Tax Office.
Okay. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to accept the tax collector's report as submitted. Motion by Anne Marie, second by Al. Under discussion, if everybody can just review, make sure there's no conflicts. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. At this point, I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda discussion of establishing emergency declaration for the town of Seymour.
So moved.
Motion by Len, second by Karen. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda, discussion of potential emergency declaration for the town of Seymour. You should each have a memo from myself to all of you, which I will read into the record. To the Board of Selectmen from First Selectman W. Kurt Miller regarding weekend storm and potential for emergency appropriations. Section 12.4, subsection D of the Town of Seymour Charter states that the Board of Selectmen, acting pursuant to a declaration of a state of emergency, shall be empowered to make appropriations for the purpose of meeting a public emergency threatening the lives, health, or property of citizens provided such appropriation shall receive a favorable vote of at least a majority of the quorum of the Board of Selectmen. Emergency shall be restricted to natural disasters and other unforeseen events. Written notification of such appropriation shall be given within 48 hours to the Board of Finance, and a copy thereof posted as required by law. Due to the potential of severe weather this weekend, I would like to declare a state of emergency for the town of Seymour to begin this evening that will run until the conclusion of the storms this weekend. And then to sign, W. Kurt Miller, First Selectman, Town of Seymour. We're going to talk about, in a minute, a transfer that the town of Seymour has for sand salt mix, as well as the necessary need for more overtime. Dennis is here to address that. To make this transfer, we need to do this now under the emergency declaration. I ran this by Brian. Brian is very comfortable with this action that we are taking. We are at a very low point in our sand salt supply. We need to purchase more to get ahead of the storm. At the same time, our overtime numbers are very low as well. During the budget process last year, the Public Works Board made it very clear that the amount that was given to them by the Board of Finance would not be enough, that this situation would probably arise. Since we don't know what to expect on Sunday, it could be very bad. I've heard some projections that we could be seeing several feet of snow. I want to be on the safe side and make sure that the town is protected, so we have the ability to get out and take care of the roads and protect our citizens. So I'm asking at this point for a motion to approve my request to declare a state of emergency for the town of Seymour that will run from this evening until the conclusion of this weekend storm.
So moved.
Motion by, I think that was Len, second by Al. Under discussion, anybody have any questions, concerns?
I just have one. Is there any need to put specific dates in this? Because there's nothing on this document anywhere with dates.
Well, the chart,
Well, I understand what the charter says, but in
Why would you
your
want to do
sentence.
that though, Paul?
Well,
What if the
because,
storms go a little bit later than forecast?
At least,
because we want to make sure it's documented properly. I'm just asking,
If
I'm not
there's an
sure.
end date, you want an end date of
No,
some...
no,
I- No, I'm not saying an end date. I mean, it says starting tonight, but if there is no date on here that says what tonight is. If the
Right.
document was dated,
Well,
I'd be
it's-
happy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No,
Well,
no, date.
I mean,
this evening would be-
That makes sense.
I mean,
Could be-
tonight, because we're at the meeting, but I hear what you're saying, you want a
Yeah.
specific date.
oh, I see, okay, I understand what you're
As
saying.
of the Board of Selectmen meeting on
As of now.
February.
Right.
Yeah, just, that's all.
So
That's
can
all
we
I'm
read that
saying.
into the
You're gonna
record,
need
is
that.
that?
You can make that a verbal amendment.
Okay. So, okay, so we'll make a verbal amendment then, to state that will go into effect on Tuesday, February 4th, 2014, at 7:30 PM.
Fine, fine.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns? Again, this is just to protect us, to make sure, because the one thing we learned with the last blizzard, things came up, we had to spend money. We took the steps necessary, but I'd rather be on the safe side this time, just in case.
just in case there is no storm, we'll still have the stuff and it'll be in stock and in inventory, correct?
There's no shelf life on the material, so
Right.
we can
I
take
just wanna make
stay
sure.
for years at a time.
And
The other situation that is happening right now, if we're able to purchase the product right now, it currently is available. It is getting very tight in New York right now, so the amount of salt being delivered to municipalities and government agencies is very low right now. That was through the Cargill Corporation. We're buying our product through International Salt. Now, I haven't heard of any issues with International Salt at the present moment. However, we do have 200 tons scheduled to be coming in Thursday morning. But then, based on this scenario here, we could certainly put in another order because if we have some serious weather over the weekend, we're not certain how much product we're going to go through. We don't know how much we're going to go through tomorrow night, or I'm sorry, tonight into tomorrow night. Yesterday's storm, including all of yesterday, including this morning, we went through approximately 160 tons of salt. So, depending on the type of storm it is, will determine how much product we're going to use.
How much do we have right now?
Right now, we've got about 300 tons.
So you went through 100 and what?
160.
So Dennis, what are you planning to order for this
Well, I've
weekend.
got
what's your
200
plan?
already ordered.
Coming on Thursday, if it gets here Thursday.
Right.
If it gets here Thursday. It was originally planning on tomorrow, however, that's been moved today. Now, based on this scenario here, with the vote on this, we could start ordering tomorrow. I mean, basically, the numbers would allow us up to about 800 more tons. And again, if we got the 400 tons and it's in the salt shed, it's not going to go anywhere. However, I can't take it all at one point. I can only hold approximately 500-600 tons maximum at any one time. I do have approximately 75 tons of sand salt mix on hand, which can be used. It's not the best product, but it can be used. Going to straight sand would be the worst option.
So what are you predicting you're gonna go through for the storm coming tonight?
If we end up with a 8 to 10 inch storm, I'll use, if I have a 5-inch storm or a 10-inch storm, I'm going to use almost the same amount of material. So it'll be roughly 150 to 175 tons.
So you're looking at a reserve of 125 until that delivery's made Thursday. So
Right.
you're looking at about 125, 150 until you get that extra
Exactly.
200 or whatever you said is coming
Yeah.
Thursday. So then you'd have about 325, 300
Yeah,
for the weekend, so that's why you need to get more.
Exactly. However, the 300 tons will give us, if we had a 2-foot snowstorm, we should be able to handle that with 300 tons.
Okay, I mean, that's what I was getting at. If you have a big one, you're not gonna go through 500 tons of salt, right?
No, and you have to understand also that after the roads are treated, we're not applying every time we go out. If we apply, and then we go back out, and after we're accumulating a couple, 3 inches of snow, we're not doing the center lines, we're doing the gutter lines, because the salt is applied in the middle. And the longer the salt stays there, it dissipates to the outer parts of the road. So we kind of leave the centers, intact and let the material work. So every time we go out and plow, we're not applying more material. The only time we apply more material is if we're in a very slippery situation or some icing where we have to use some more. And then basically after the cleanup, we like to put some more product down. And that helps us with callbacks the next day.
Sure.
It almost eliminates callbacks.
I remember you explaining that when I was on the board. Thanks for
And believe it or not, it does work.
No, it doesn't. Thanks.
Any other questions? And again, we'll address more specifics when we get to the transfer itself.
Do we need to vote on the amendment?
Oh, we do. So is there any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda, item number 12, we'll go back into order, our appointments. We have 4 appointments this evening. First one, Ted Holly, Zoning Board of Appeals. It's a reappointment. It's a 4-year term, expires February 7th, 2018. Motion by Nicole.
Second.
Second by Len. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Nicolette O'Toole, Zoning Board of Appeals. It's a reappointment. It's a 4-year term. Expiration date is February 7th, 2018. I have a motion. Motion by Nicole. Second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Susan Lesinski, Zoning Board of Appeals. It's a reappointment. It's a 4-year term. It expires February 7th, 2018. Motion by Nicole. Second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Phil Willamy, Zoning Board of Appeals alternate. It's a reappointment for a 4-year term. It expires on February 7th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by this half, second by that half. Actually, I think Nicole and Al. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much, everyone. Next item on the agenda is transfers. We actually have 3 transfers this evening. First transfer we'll go through is control item number 9. This transfer is being put through by myself. The It's a request to move $2,500 from fund balance and to go into a line created for property purchase. This has to do with the property on Squantic Road. This issue has crossed two boards. So for Len and Paul, who were not involved in the initial discussions, we have the opportunity to buy the piece of property from the water company for $20,000. The board had asked that I go back and I meet with the residents to have a discussion about them sharing some of the financial burden of this purchase. We received $10,000 from the Open Space Fund. The Conservation Commission voted to make that transfer, so the outstanding amount was $10,000. I had a conversation with the 5 homeowners. They have all agreed to pay $1,500 each. So the outstanding amount to the town is the $2,500. Once we approve this transfer and then the Board of Finance approves the transfer, and I've been given indication that they will, it will allow Attorney Stanek to deposit a check and file the appropriate paperwork with the court to allow the process to start. The residents were extremely appreciative of this. Attorney Stanek and Attorney Thomas, who's representing some of the homeowners, are in the process now of working out some of the language and things like that, but we expect to have that taken care of in the next week or so. So at this point, I'm going to entertain a motion to accept control number 9 and forward to the Board of Finance. Transfer out of fund balance the amount of $2,500 to the line property purchases, account number ending 865.
So moved.
Motion by Len, second by Nicole. Is there any discussion?
I'd just like to say, I believe this is a good resolution to this problem. Good work by everybody to get this problem solved.
Yeah.
From what I know of it, I don't know as much as everyone else, but I do know some of the particulars of it.
This process started in May of 2012. So we've finally gotten it to the finish line. So happy to get it there. So if there's no other comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0. Next item, or next transfer is control number 8. It's being requested by Seymour Ambulance Director Scott Andrews. Amount requested is $8,000. Coming out of fund balance, going into the line for VEMS. And then you could see some information down in the detail. I've asked the Executive Director of VEMS to join Chief Andrews here as well, Bob, Pat Nella, to answer any questions. I'll give a little background, and then Bob and Scott, please jump in if I don't do it justice. We pay VEMS for 2 distinct things. One, we pay them $30,000 a year for their services. We also then pay for what's known as bundle billing, and bundle billing essentially helps residents who may not have the ability to fully pay. The town provides a stipend to VEMS to cover that cost so they don't have to get sent to collections and things like that. Last year during the budget process, VEMS had requested an amount of bundle billing of $48,000. Board of Finance gave them $40,000, and at that point the chairman had said if you need more to come back. VEMS has gone through the $40,000. They are estimating they'll need about another $8,000 to get through the rest of the year. The Executive Director, Pat Nella, and Chief Andrews approached me about this, so I wanted to start that process. So that's where we stand on this. This board is going to need to also make a decision for the upcoming budget season. I'm going to ask both Bob and Scott to come back to go through that again, because bundle billing the cost will jump substantially. We'll actually be budgeting the appropriate amount. VEMS has been eating a lot of this. So what they're asking is the town to pay its fair share at that point. So we'll need to make a decision, do we want to continue bundle billing or not? But we'll discuss that at a later meeting. So tonight we're talking simply about the $8,000 that's here. Bob or Scott, is there anything you want to add that I missed?
I think you nailed it. The bottom line is that bundle billing is really a way for residents to have some relief from what Medicare does not pay for, which is paramedic intercept services. Therefore, what we do is we bundle our bill with Seymour Ambulance's bill, and we get a $71 portion of that bill. Clearly, $71 would not cover the service. Therefore, what bundle billing does is it takes the difference between what we would have collected if we had billed the patient privately and what we actually collect from the bundled bill with Seymour Ambulance, and it makes the difference so that the patients here in town that are on fixed incomes don't see a bill to them. So the town has helped with that.
And it's been the 40,000 for several years.
Like 5.
Yeah, FEMS has not asked for an increase until last year. They've been, as they said, they've been absorbing the additional costs. They did come to the Board of Finance last year to ask for that additional amount. The board at that point had said come back.
Yeah, we had recognized around 2007, 2008 that we needed to adjust these numbers. And in having conversations then, that's when everything kind of, in the economy kind of collapsed and everyone was tightening their belts. So literally everyone we have a bundle billing agreement with, can you hold off, can you hold off? So we're doing our best, but we're at the point now where we need to collect.
And again, just to address, because in case someone has the question about other towns potentially not paying their fair share, this 48,000 is directly to Seymour. This has no, another community in this valley not paying their bill has no impact on this.
If it's necessary, or you guys would like, I have a packet, all the names are crossed out, but it's a direct correlation to everyone that's billed in the last 7 months here, so that you realize it's your residents and your residents only, and if you guys want to see that, you're welcome to it.
So any questions on this? Any questions for Commissioner Scott? No? Okay, at this point then, I'll entertain a motion to approve and move on to the Board of Finance Control number 8, transfer the amount of $8,000 from fund balance to the VEMS account line.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Karen, second by Al. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0. Next transfer on the agenda, which is control number 10. This control is put forward by Dennis Rosen, Director of Public Works, in the amount of $104,711. That is the amount from fund balance moving into the snow plowing accounts. And you can see the breakdown there, and this is attached to the emergency declaration that we had just discussed previously. Any questions on this? And Dennis, I think Dennis did a good job explaining it, and we had a good conversation. But anything else anyone would like to go through? Okay. At this point, then, I'll entertain a motion to to accept and move forward to the Board of Finance Control number 10 in the amount of $104,711 from fund balance to the snow plowing account.
So moved.
Motion by Paul, second by Len. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0.
One quick point of clarification, does this have to go to town meeting?
Emergency transfers do not.
It does not, because it's based upon the emergency transfer, and that's why you adopted the resolution, so that you can act upon this without going to full town meeting.
Thank you. Next item
Thank
on.
you very much for the approval on that.
And if you want to go, Dennis, if you want to go get some sleep, I'm sure we'll be waking you up in about an hour.
Don't call me, I'll call you.
Yes, no, please don't call me till the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, item number 15, correspondence. We have two pieces of, one piece of correspondence. I apologize. This is a letter from all of our service chiefs as well as the Director of Public Works regarding the AT&T tower, and it's addressed to the full Board of Selectmen. It says, "We, the undersigned executive officers of the town's public safety entities, wish to express our support for the proposed AT&T communication tower to be located at 140 Botsford Road, Great Hill Hose Company. We believe that this project serves the best interests of the town's public safety personnel as well as its residents and visitors. Further, the slight change from the existing structure that this project represents is a small price to pay for the revenue and improved communications not only on the municipal side, but for those customers of AT&T that would result from the execution of this project. Sincerely, Michael Metzler, Chief of Police, Dennis Rosen, Public Works Director, James Smith, Fire Chief, L. Scott Andrews, Chief of Seymour Ambulance, and Thomas J. Amy, Emergency Management Director." So I just wanted to read that into the record. Okay, that closes correspondence. Public comment? Is there any public comment?
Yeah, I'll close it out.
Michael?
A couple things. Last night, because of the weather, we had to cancel our Fort Chaplain service. We're thinking about rescheduling it, and one thing I would ask, I would like to see some representation from the town at some of these activities. This year was going to be at St. Margaret Mary's Church in Shelton. I don't know if you're familiar with the Fort Chaplains program. but they went, the four chaplains, the ones that gave up their life jackets on the Dorchester, February 3rd, 1943, went down with the ship. David Miles Post in Oxford is named after him because he went down on the Dorchester. We started doing that service maybe 20 years ago, and we've been doing it ever since, post that. With sadness, I break too that the EWO services at the end of this month are no longer. We've been helping with the Marine Corps League with the EWO HEMA services in February, and because they couldn't get any help to do the service and make the arrangements, Stephanie Vital had to give it up. So I know there's been a representative from every town at the EWO services for the last, I know Nicole was there the last couple of years with your sister, and it's a pretty moving service because there was 100 men from Connecticut that were killed on EWO, but they're not going to have it this year. And the other thing too is, I forgot to mention in the first comments, I came to the office to speak to you, and I was talking to Rory, and again, unless he changed it, the Seymour website doesn't even have Broad Street Park listed on it. I don't know if it was added to that afterwards. We looked it up, it's not even listed as a town park. But my question and concern was, there's a Friends of the Park committee. Now, there's a lot of other parks in town. I'm not aware of any other committee or commission assigned to any of these other parks. And responsibilities of this committee or what their activities are going to be, I just think that you open up a can of worms, and and you're setting a precedent by setting up these committees to do whatever action they're going to do, because that's going to open the door for somebody else. I know back when John O'Toole was first selectman, we tried to get a committee to go to enhance French Park as a veterans organization, and we were shot down. He said, no, you can't do that, because we wanted to put benches behind the monuments, we wanted to do a lot of work back there, and we were flat out told, no, can't do it. Town park belongs to the Park Commission, Town of Seymour takes care of it, period. And anything else that had to be done up there was done through the town. So again, I just think you're opening up a can of worms. Again, to me, again, this is my opinion, we're bound down to, again, keeps on coming back to the same guy. He won't let go of what's going on over there, and he's just flat out's got to give it up.
Thank you, Mike. Is there any other public comment? Chief?
Yeah, since my name was attached to a letter, I thought I'd just explain my position. I signed a letter supporting the AT&T tower at Great Loads Company for a couple of reasons. One was obviously the income that the first selectman indicated could go back into the fire department, and as a fire commissioner, I saw that as a win. The second reason that I think that it's important that we have an AT&T tower up there goes back to last year's blizzard that we had. When phone lines went down and cell service was still sporadic, AT&T is terrible up in that area. And I understand the position of the residents, because if it was in my backyard, I would probably have some concerns about it. But I'm a very pragmatic person, and I don't think of things in beautification ways. I think of things, what's going to make it better for the residents. And from that perspective alone, when you lose your landline, and everybody's got a cell phone nowadays, I think that it's one of the most important things that we can have is that coverage up in that area. And that particular spot gives us the electricity that's already there. There doesn't need to be any additional cabling that's run into a remote site, such as if it were at the middle school in one of the backfields there or what have you. It makes sense for it to be in that location. And that's why I supported the project right from the start. I'm probably in the minority of speaking out about it, but I think that it's important that we take care of our residents from that perspective, as well as looking at the beautification of it. So that's my position. That's why I signed that letter. And I think that it's more of a benefit to the town to have that than it is a detraction from the neighborhood they're living in.
Thank you, Chief. Any other public comment? Or any other public comment? Hearing no public comment. We'll move to Selectmen's public comments. Okay.
I'm all set
All right.
for a change.
Paul?
One thing I'd like to say is this past Sunday, I attended a program at the Seymour Historical Society on the fish bypass project. Excellent program. And the person who gave it was Steve Gephardt, who had given a presentation down here at Town Hall a couple years ago. Gave a real good background as to the history of the dam, as to, Karen was there too as well, and what the project is going to do for fish, migratory fish coming through here. One of the suggestions that Mr. Gephardt made is, and I don't know if we can get onto it this year or not, but we should consider, is that May 24th is National Fish Migration Day. Now, it sounds kind of corny, but you know what? People are going to come down to downtown Seymour to see those fish migrate through that fish bypass. They do it all over the place. He tells you, people flock to these different fish bypass areas, and that's about the peak time.
I'm laughing because Fred Masori wants to hold like a festival.
Well,
Something like that. Yeah.
I agree, and
Along the same lines, I mean, people will come to town.
not for nothing, you know, the firehouse is right across the street, and the firemen could make a killing on something if they were provide refreshments or something for the people coming down.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think
Fish sandwiches.
this other, what Fred was talking about, I kind of agree. Because, you know, and I'm sure other people have been to other places, but out at the Outer Banks, they take these statues of horses and decorate them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Seymour taking some fish, having the businesses around town decorate them as a contest.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make a big, you know, celebration out of this, so to speak.
Absolutely, and Fred, I laugh because I can just see Fred explaining it to me for the first time.
Oh,
Looking
geez,
at
I
me
don't look like
he
Fred.
had 12 heads. But, yeah, no, something like that would be a great idea, absolutely.
But the unfortunate thing, though, May 24th is the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. It's kind of a busy weekend, but it's something to look forward to. If not this year, maybe, you know, something in the
May
future.
24th is Saturday.
Is it? Okay.
We won't, I don't
That's
believe,
even probably.
their projections now are completion probably June. I mean, looking more for
Oh,
July 1st.
Mr. Gephardt thought it was going to be April.
Yeah, he
He said April.
No, they're a little behind schedule.
Yeah, well, he thought they originally were supposed to be done at the beginning of March. He said now it's the end of April, but you're probably more current on
He,
the...
they they hit some snags along the way, but they're shooting. Now, it could be quicker, but a safe estimate is probably July 1st.
And they dug up some pretty interesting artifacts while they were there too. You know, I don't know how much
That's a
anybody
cool,
knows about it.
if any of you had a
A
chance,
turbine and stuff like that.
stop in the trailer and tell me you want to go take a look.
Yeah.
And they'll take you down in there. It's interesting.
And we also thanked them though, because I told them the skate park was a byproduct of the fish bypass.
A man knows a lot about fish.
He does.
Yes, he does.
It's a very interesting talk, very.
Thank you, Paul. Nicole?
I'm all set, thank you.
Al?
I just want to commend Rory and other town hall employees for the work on the new website. It's a vast improvement on what we had before in that old platform, so be commended, Rory. See, I gave you a compliment in public. So, all right, but really though, it looks great. The other thing I wanted to ask is, just while Paul's here, I'm curious, I see those signs that says skate park coming, future skate park, the little, that they're up on the fences.
Yeah.
Are those gonna
They're gonna come down.
soon, or before the kids do something or
No,
something?
they're gonna come down.
rips them up?
The point is, we want to get to, we were supposed to have a meeting tomorrow night, and probably that's in jeopardy. One of the things we want to discuss is the grand opening of the park, and, you know, when that happens, obviously those signs would come down.
We can put new ones up, right? You can say unveiling of the park or grand
Yeah.
opening.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, I was just curious, because I just saw them the other day.
Yeah.
Figured I'd.
No, thanks for coming. I understand what you're saying. I'm thinking the same thing, you know,
Yeah.
that,
Just gotta take.
but
them down,
I
get
think
the new ones up.
we're almost at a point where we can figure out a day. I talked to Mike about it because the veterans want to be involved as
Oh,
well.
good. Great.
In the opening, because it's Ronald Reagan Field.
Great.
And,
Fantastic. I just wanted to mention it.
thanks.
That was it.
Thank you. Anne Marie?
WPCA did not meet on Monday. We'll be having our meeting next Monday. Providing, at least not another sign.
Glenn?
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to thank the Seymour Police Department for responding. I actually got a couple of phone calls during a previous snowstorm a couple weeks ago about the parking ban issue. I think I might have actually brought it up at one of our previous meetings, but they actually had responded a number of times and took care of the issues for the constituents who called. I want to thank them publicly, number one, and say that they did a great job. Urge them to continue to do that because it really is it's more of an issue than people really realize, considering the fact that it's if people leave their cars along the side of the road and the plows can't get through, then that means the ambulances can't get through, fire trucks can't get through, and it can be a real problem for public safety. So I just want to urge them to continue to do that and thank them publicly. That's it.
Thank you, Len. Okay. I have no comments for this evening. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to-
Second.
Motion by Anne Marie, second by Nicole. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0. Close the meeting at 7:51 p.m.